2.
Oh, is that my one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This one is mine. 1.
Good morning. So this week I need to sort out my routines, morning and evening routines. The kids ones are very much kind of set in stone. They have a routine that works for them, both for morning and nighttime. But for myself, one, I find I've been slowly slipping on certain habits. And 2, there's some things that just don't necessarily work anymore that might have done previously. So just need a bit of adjustment. Now with routines, my husband and I were actually talking about this. We kind of sit in a funny place because when you look at routines, there's loads of things out there which is, kind of hustle, get up and grind and go and get as much done from, before the sun rises or before anyone else has even had a chance to have breakfast. And then you've also got the other side, which is kind of like the slow living, take things slow, try and be intentional, take certain things like maybe a coffee, and instead of having an instant coffees, grind your own beans and then have a special press that it goes into. So it takes longer to make the coffee, so you're more intentional, you're more mindful of the process, which is wonderful. But we kind of sit somewhere in the middle because I don't necessarily have the time to be doing obviously a full-on grind your own coffee beans to make your own coffee kind of morning, but also being able to wake up at a certain time every single morning before the sun has risen to get out to the gym or to do this and that before the kids have woken up, to have a coffee and journal before the kids are woken up. That's just not realistic in my life. And I feel like for maybe the last few months I've been trying to create this morning routine where I'm up before the kids are and I can have time to myself to sit, to journal, to listen to a podcast, to have a coffee and have this slow morning to myself. However, it's not really realistic and doesn't happen every single day, and most of the time it doesn't really happen because sometimes or a lot of the time the kids are up at about 6:30. So then I'm thinking, okay, well then to have that morning I've got to wake up at 5 o'clock. Don't know what's going on with my voice today. But let's say Bella, for example, I co-sleep with Bella, and so a lot of the time when I wake up in the morning she's very much still attached to me, and so by me trying to then get out of bed, she's actually waking up earlier than what she should be because I've just interrupted her sleep because she's still attached to me. And then I'm like, okay, but now I just feel like I've been robbed of this morning, which should be for myself, but now I've got my baby with me because I've woken her up. So instead of thinking kind of routines of how much I'm trying to fit into my morning and also nighttime, I'm trying to think of it as kind of a rhythm. What's the intention that I'm setting for the day? What's kind of the vibe that I want going in the house for myself and for the kids as well? If I wake up and then I'm stressed because I've not been able to do my morning journal or have my time to myself, my me time in the morning, because the kids are already awake, I'm then going to be stressed out because I've not had that, and then that energy is going to go into the kids as well. They're going to feel it. So instead, I'm trying to simplify my mornings where I can. I'm thinking this week we're going to try out, see how things go. But in the mornings, I really enjoy it that if I wake up and if everything miraculously goes to plan, where the kids have had a good sleep, I've had a good sleep, the alarm's gone off at 6:30, I'm feeling awake, ready to get up, Bella's not attached to me and I can sneak out, then wonderful. And actually that kind of happened this morning, a little bit later than that, but that did happen, and I could have a good stretch, I could listen to a podcast, it was really lovely. But if that doesn't happen and she's still attached to me, but she happens to wake up about 6:30, I can lay in bed, put a podcast on to listen to whilst she's feeding or having a nice cuddle, or if he wakes up, he can come into bed with us and we can have a bit of time reading some books or just waking up together in the morning and a bit of play before we come downstairs. So just kind of taking it slow. So I'm trying to think, right, the mornings, I want it to be very much intentional, and I'm thinking I'm waking up with my mornings with my children and having that time with them before the day gets going so we can all have a slow morning. Instead of trying to think I'm trying to get my journal in, trying journaling morning and nighttime, that in the end was more getting in the way. So trying to consume that through content instead through listening to it is what I'm going to try this week and see how it goes. I find journaling sometimes is not necessarily needed for me because my husband and I are very open in the way that we talk, and so I find that I get that through him. So I'll listen to the content, whether it's podcast or YouTube, on normally stoicism, and then we will discuss any feelings that we have that day, any worries or anything that's pondering on our mind that day, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. We will talk about it throughout the day and a lot of time in the evening as well. So I'm trying to take out that journaling because it was stressing me out more than it was doing any good. So this morning was really lovely. I got up, did a little stretch. Once Bella woke up, we just laid in bed for a little bit. Both the kids are kind of feeling a little bit under the weather, so we just laid in bed. She had a feed whilst I cuddled, and I listened to a podcast. P was still asleep. Once he woke up, we had a really lovely time having kind of cuddles in the morning, slowly waking up. Finally came downstairs. I had breakfast, Bella had her breakfast, she had a little play, P had his milk and bananas, and then he ended up wanting to have a hot chocolate, so we made nice hot chocolate together, and it was really lovely and chilled. I've taken Bella out for her nap, and now I feel like, okay, now I can have some time with P, one-on-one time. And I've still got plenty done. I've had a wash load going, made and tidied up from breakfast, made a hot chocolate with P. So yeah, there's still been plenty that's been done, but it's been really slow, still very intentional, still very productive, but without trying to pack a load of things in. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of the week. And then evening routines as well is something that I'm trying to change a little bit, so we'll see how that goes later on. Right, so, we want some materials.
So this, guess what is below? Some big figure.
Then put it out. All the way. And then try and put it as close to that bit there as you can. Yeah, that's perfect. And then put it out from the other side. Remember to hold it from there. That's it. Woohoo! And again, now you want to take it out somewhere around here so you go all the way around the dinosaur. Bella's down for her naps, I try where I can to do activities that we can't necessarily do when she's awake, and P absolutely loves getting involved with any kind of stitching, sewing, knitting, and previously when I was making some hair clips for Bella, he loved doing the embroidery with me. So I thought if I had a pattern like this, which I just already had at home with the dinosaurs on, he could start to embroider just a straight line going around it. Thank you. What's this one for?
Buggies.
Buggies what?
For buggy stitch.
Oh, okay. This isn't the type of one that we use for that one. We need to use like this one.
Okay.
Do you want to do that colour? And I think it's a really good craft, especially if your child is into kind of any arts and crafty things. It's a really good one to do for any hand-to-eye coordination. It kind of just gets them introducing into embroidery. And I love that he can then follow the lines, go around the dinosaur, and then he sometimes likes to cut them out. It's a really simple way where it's not a specific project where we're trying to make something, have something at the end of it, like a specific picture. Thank you, honey. Because obviously at this stage it's not something that I expect that we can do. But it's a really simple activity that gets their hands and minds engaged into it, where they have fun.
Black.
Oh, that's for something else. It's also, I find a way where I can enjoy the hobbies that I like to do, but can't necessarily fit into my daily kind of routine. But we can enjoy them together, and I've kind of come to terms that I'm not currently at the stage of life where I'm going to be able to make any bigger projects, but I can do small projects that he can get involved with, where he can learn like making the hair clips. I don't think I have one here that I can show you. I like making the hair clips or just doing simple kind of tracing around a little picture on some material. So that way I get my fix of my hobbies whilst also spending time with my son. You do it, Bella. Go on then. And put it in.
Bella.
And put it in here. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he gives you and I don't think for you. Mommy.
Oh, is that for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Magic ring for real like magic
That is true, that is true. It is a Wednesday morning. We've already been up for a little while. It's been quite a nice chilled morning. Again, the kids are a little bit under the weather. P's not too well. Bella's teething, so her sleep's a bit all over the place. So we've been waking up a little bit later, but we had a nice time in bed and we all kind of woke up similar time. So we just had a bit of time in bed to kind of cuddle and wake up slowly. I've been able to brush my teeth and everything, get dressed, change Bella's nappy, give her some milk. We finally come down, having some breakfast. I've got a coffee in hand as well, decaf. Yeah, I'm just making breakfast for Bella and I. P's already had his milk and his banana upstairs with us. And then we're gonna start our day. But it's been quite nice and chilled. I've already actually sorted home insurance renewal, so that's been done as well. So yeah, again, still productive, but not having to worry about trying to cram loads of things in. Another thing I've also taken out of my morning routine is workouts. I've taken that out of my morning and nighttime routine because I was trying to cram it in the morning and I was trying to cram it in at night, and it just wasn't working. So instead I'm trying it where I'm just doing it throughout the day. As you can see, we've kind of got a pull-up bar there in the kitchen door, so I just do it throughout the day as and when I get pockets of time, especially if the kids are busy doing something. And if you find those moments where that's where you're going to pick your phone up to start kind of doom scrolling, I'll instead take myself to do some bits on the pull-up bar or some core exercises or bodyweight exercises in the room that they're in. I'm just gonna go check on her. You're back. Are you hungry or are you tired? Or teeth hurting? I think it could be a mixture. No, you're not having the bowl. Right, let's get on with making breakfast. It's quite chilly outside, but I want to get us all out for some fresh air today because we've not been out since Monday. So I'm going to get us out for some fresh air, go to the park, and if P is very lucky, maybe take him to the cafe for a croissant and orange juice. We shall see. One thing that I have been slacking on is taking supplements. Now, we don't have many supplements, but I try and, wherever I can, get all my nutrients from my food. But being plant-based, obviously there's a couple of things that sometimes may lack a little bit. So I've got vitamin D and also omega-3 that I take. So there's 2 supplements that I take at the moment. I haven't implemented anything else. I haven't felt the need for anything else. Nothing else has come up that I need, but I have been slacking with taking those, and especially vitamin D3, as it's now getting into winter. I'm coming loose. As it's getting into winter in the UK, it's very much needed. So I need to get back into a better habit of taking my vitamins. So that's what we're doing.
got this, P. Keep going.
Good evening. We've had a wonderful, quite wholesome day. We ended up going out for some fresh air. It was bitterly cold, but sunny. So we went out for some fresh air. We went to a local cafe that recently opened up in our village. And then we did go to the park, which was a very short visit, as both kids ended up and crying because their hands were so cold. Bella did have her gloves on, though she kept taking them off. Did not want her hat on, so she was having a meltdown because she didn't want her hat on. And P was insistent on taking his gloves off, and then his hands got cold and he couldn't warm up again. And so, yeah, so that was short-lived, but it was wonderful. It was wonderful to be able to get out. But it is now just gone 8:30. Actually, it's now about 10 to 9. But the kids went down by 8:30. And a couple of things that have changed in my nighttime routine, and this is what I mean by post kind of kids going to bed, so my personal nighttime routine. I used to always come down having to have to still do the dishes after dinner, which I now try do before the kids go to bed. So as soon as we've had dinner, I then try and do the dishes straight away. So Bella's at a stage now. I've always used to do it before with P, but having a newborn, it wasn't quite so easy. But Bella's at a stage now where one, I can use things like watermelon as basically a babysitter because she loves watermelon, and two, she's more into playing in toys and things in the evening, as before she'd always be quite that witching hour, always really clingy at night, as now she does tend to be quite happy to go off and play. So I use that time when I can to tidy up so I don't have to do it after bedtime. I then also used to try and fit in my workouts in the evening, and that didn't work. Tried it in the morning, didn't work. Nighttime, I just want to come down and relax. The last thing I want to think about is getting sweaty. And on that note, one thing I am currently doing at the moment is taking my showers with Bella. So I used to try and bath the kids together. However, she is quite a water baby. P doesn't quite like sharing his bath at the moment. She's very splashy. He doesn't like that. So I bath him separate, and Bella and I go in together. So I just fill a little bit of the bath up with some more water so she can sit in that whilst I'm having a shower. So she's one end and then I'm having a shower. So it kills two birds in one stone. I can kind of get into my pajamas, get ready for bed, while she also has her bath, and then get her in her pajamas. And so everyone is bathed and ready for bed in pajamas, including myself, rather than having to do it afterwards, because especially on nights when they don't go to bed till a bit later, or she's teething, she doesn't go to bed till later, then I wouldn't be trying to have a shower until like 10 o'clock at night, and I'd be absolutely shattered, and it just wasn't ideal. So that way I do it with her and gets that over and done with as well. So then when I can come downstairs, it is my time to just chill. Now this week I've been introducing a bit of time to just watch whatever I want to watch, whether it's something on TV, whether it's some YouTube, whatever I want to consume. If it is I want to sit and doom scroll, then I can sit and doom scroll. But actually I've been really just enjoying having just 20 minutes to sit down, watch some YouTube uninterrupted, and that does not mean watch something and get distracted and do something else at the same time. It means literally sit down and watch, and it's just allowed my brain to kind of switch off after being go all day. I can then switch off, and it kind of brings me into this new phase for that evening. I can then be present with my husband, we can then chat about the day afterwards. But I've just found having this like 20 minutes to sit and just watch my iPad. I prefer it on my iPad rather than the TV, just because I find it a lot easier to move through things and select something. Just 20 minutes to just sit down and just stare at the screen. It just allows my brain, I don't know about if anyone else has this, it just allows my brain to switch off and kind of go from being mum all day to switch and go, cool, that's done. I can now be present to chat what happened throughout the day and then be there for my husband, rather than just feeling like I've been needed by kids all day or the dog, to then my husband needing my attention and not being able to have any time to just kind of go from that in between. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly. All I can explain it as is if you're, let's say, going to work or finished a long day at work in the office and you're just needing that time to switch off before you're getting into a home and being able to relax. I can imagine you'd have that, or I used to have that kind of on my drive home, listen to a podcast, whatever, you're just with your own thoughts for the day, and then when you come in after you drive home, you then see your partner, your husband, and you're ready to go for the evening, whatever you're doing that evening. But because you don't have that being a mum, you literally just walk down the stairs from putting the kids to bed. I feel like I need that as if I'm on my drive home, my commute home. And my commute home is just sitting watching something on my iPad for 20 minutes. But yeah, I have found that's made a big difference this week. And so I know some people use that time to journal, but just to it be something that's not productive and that's just has no benefit apart from to literally switch my brain off, that has been really wonderful and a big help I've found. It's made a big difference. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So showers with my baby, cleaning up after dinner rather than leaving it till afterwards, and not doing workouts in the evening as well. It has been a big difference, and I've found my evenings then have been really relaxed and chilled, as that's definitely what I was missing in my evening routine. And then my last bit is trying to go to bed a little bit earlier, as I was going to bed too late. So I've been trying to go to bed a bit earlier, as it would be about 12:30 before I'm actually going to sleep. So trying to go to sleep by about 11, and that gives my husband and I a couple of hours to kind of sit, chill, if we want to watch something on TV, if we just want to discuss. Tonight, so it's Wednesday tonight, and Wednesday nights we have a special dessert. We used to have ice cream, but I've recently swapped it where I'm making, don't know what that was, I'm making a dark chocolate tofu like mousse type dessert, and it is, for me, it just hits the spot. Might not be for everyone, but ice cream wasn't quite hitting the spot with me. I wasn't feeling satisfied at the end of it, and I would literally have a whole tub of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So I've made this tofu. It's just silken tofu, dark chocolate, melt the dark chocolate, mix the silken tofu. I add a bit of soy milk in it as well, just to loosen it up a bit, otherwise it does go really, really thick. So I put a bit of soy milk in there to just loosen it so it's not too thick. Put it in the fridge to set, and you're good to go. And honestly, I find that so fulfilling, so filling, and so satisfying. And the dark chocolate, which I love dark chocolate anyway, so the richness from the dark chocolate just kind of gets my chocolate fix in there. And I love it because you're getting the antioxidants from dark chocolate. Probably not the best time to have it at night, but hey ho. And you're also getting the protein and all the nutrients from the tofu as well, so your iron, your calcium as well. So I find it has a lot more benefits than what a tub of Ben & Jerry's has, and way less sugar as well. So I'm looking forward to enjoying that. So I'm going to sit with my hot water bottle because it's freezing, enjoy some YouTube, and wait for the husband to come home, because on Wednesday he goes to visit his mum and dad, where he can sit and catch up with them without being interrupted by kids.